Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive in. Today, we are going to be exploring the world of herbal elixirs.
Oh, herbal elixirs?
Yes, we're talking about all those soothing teas and invigorating tonics and, really everything in between.
Sounds refreshing already.
I know, right? And to guide us today, we've got two really interesting sources.
Okay.
One that dives into specific elixir recipes, like how to make them step by step.
So like a recipe book.
Exactly.
Cool.
And the other one kind of explores the broader world of like seasonal drinks and, the ideas behind them.
Okay, so kind of the philosophy of the drinks.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. I'm really excited about this one because I think we're going to be able to go beyond just learning like, oh, here's how you make this drink.
Right.
We're really going to try to unpack the why behind the ingredients and like how these drinks actually work.
Yeah, like what are the actual benefits beyond just taste?
Exactly.
I love that.
And I think most importantly, like how can we use this knowledge to create our own little rituals, for relaxation and wellness at home?
I like that. Yeah, because I think a lot of times people, they know, oh, chamomile tea is good for sleep,
Right.
but they don't really know why.
Yeah, and how to kind of like harness that and make it a part of their routine.
Exactly.
So to start off, I think it would be helpful to kind of define like what exactly are herbal elixirs? Because I feel
Hmm.
like sometimes that term can be a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah, it can be a little bit vague, a little bit mysterious,
Yeah, exactly.
sounds fancy.
Right.
But yeah, it's like you said, more than just your average cup of tea.
Right.
Right? It's really this blend of herbs and spices and other natural ingredients. But it's really specifically crafted to get certain benefits, to achieve something, not just for the taste.
Okay, so it's like a recipe, but with a purpose beyond just taste.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like you are putting together these different ingredients, knowing that each one is bringing something to the table,
I see. I see.
and it's going to like work together synergistically.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And I think a good example that like everyone can relate to is chamomile tea.
Okay. Yeah.
Everyone knows chamomile tea. It's very familiar.
Right.
But yeah, there's actual science behind why it's so calming.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, there is. So it contains this compound called apigenin.
Okay.
And apigenin, it binds to certain receptors in your brain.
Hmm.
And basically what it does is it reduces anxiety and it can promote sleep.
So it's not just a placebo effect. There's an actual chemical interaction happening.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not just like, oh, it's warm and cozy, so I feel relaxed.
Right. Right.
There's actual like chemical stuff happening in your brain that's making you feel more relaxed.
That is so cool. So knowing that makes me even more curious about some of these other ingredients that we're going to be looking at today.
Yeah, me too. Well, speaking of other ingredients, why don't we start diving into some of those recipes from your first source?
Okay, perfect.
It highlights 5 unique elixirs.
5.
5?
Okay, I'm ready. And each one has a different blend of herbs and different benefits, which is really cool.
Absolutely.
Okay, so just looking at the titles here, we've got Chamomile Lavender Dream Elixir.
Ooh, that sounds
Yeah.
dreamy.
Just Ginger Turmeric Golden Elixir.
Ooh, I love golden milk.
Hibiscus Rose Elixir.
Okay,
Matcha Mint Elixir.
nice.
And Ashwagandha Moon Milk.
That one sounds really interesting.
I know, right? That one piqued my interest, too.
I'm intrigued by that one.
Okay, so let's see. Where should we start?
Well, why don't we start with that ashwagandha moon milk since we're both kind of intrigued by it.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Ashwagandha is really interesting because it's what's called an adaptogen.
An adaptogen.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
I've heard the term, but I don't really know what it means.
Okay, so adaptogens are this special class of herbs, and basically they help your body adapt to stress.
Mm,
So it's not just about like masking the symptoms of stress.
right.
It's actually helping to regulate your body's stress response system. So it's like training your body to handle stress better, not just covering it up.
Exactly, yeah. It's more like building resilience over time.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I am starting to see how these elixirs go way beyond just a tasty drink.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye, right?
Totally, total.
And it's just one example, right? Like, if we look at the chamomile lavender dream elixir you mentioned,
Right.
we often associate lavender with, like, a calming scent.
Oh, for sure.
But it actually has a compound called linalool.
Okay.
And linalool interacts with the neurotransmitters in your brain
Mm-hmm.
to actually reduce anxiety and tension.
Wow. So the aromatherapy aspect is real.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, it smells nice, so I feel
Yeah,
better.
right.
It's actually having a real impact on your brain chemistry.
I am already feeling more relaxed just thinking about all these ingredients.
Me too. And we're just getting started.
Oh, I know. I can't wait to hear more.
Well, hold on to your teacups because we've got a lot more to explore. So before we get into some of the more complicated recipes,
Right.
why don't we look at one that's really simple, just to kind of get our feet wet?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
And actually, your source offers a really nice chamomile and honey elixir to get started.
Perfect. I'm all about starting simple.
Yeah, me
What
too.
do we need?
Okay, so let's see. You'll need just a tablespoon of dried chamomile flowers,
Right.
a cup of hot water, not quite boiling,
Okay.
a teaspoon of honey, and then you can add a slice of lemon if you like. That's optional.
Okay. Yeah, that does sound pretty easy.
Yeah, super simple, right?
So as we go through like the actual steps of making it,
Yeah.
can we talk a little bit more about why those ingredients are included?
Of course. Yeah, I think that's the most important part, right?
Exactly.
Because each ingredient is playing a role, not just in the taste,
Right.
but also in the overall effect that the elixir is going to have.
Oh.
So the chamomile, as we talked about earlier, is known for its calming and sleep-promoting properties.
Right, because of that apigenin.
Yes, exactly, that brain-calming compound.
And what about the honey?
So the honey, of course, is adding sweetness,
Right.
but it also has some soothing properties of its own.
Interesting.
And then the lemon is optional, but it adds a bit of brightness
Okay.
and a nice dose of vitamin C as well.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love how each ingredient is intentional.
Yeah.
Kind of adds to the overall experience.
Absolutely.
It makes the whole process feel a lot more mindful, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're not just following instructions.
Right.
You're really understanding the why behind each step.
Totally.
And you're kind of creating a ritual around your well-being.
I love that.
Yeah.
So speaking of rituals, our other source talks a lot about the idea of like seasonal drinking,
Oh, yeah.
which I find really fascinating.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's not just about like what tastes good at a certain time of year. It's really about choosing drinks that support your body's needs throughout the different seasons.
I love that. Yeah.
So for example, they talk about how in the springtime, after a long winter,
Yeah.
our bodies often crave like lighter flavors
Okay.
and ingredients that help us detoxify.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right. And that's when like fresh herbs really start to
Like
shine.
mint and lemon balm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all those vibrant spring berries.
Ooh, I love berries.
Me too. And they're not only delicious,
Yeah.
but they're packed with vitamins and antioxidants
Right.
to kind of help us shake off that winter sluggishness.
I feel like I need that right now.
I know, me too.
Yeah, spring can't come soon enough.
I know. Okay, so then as we move into summer,
Okay.
the focus kind of shifts towards hydration
Right.
and protection from the sun.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. And that's when we see those juicy summer fruits like watermelon, peaches, berries again,
Yeah.
taking center stage.
I love it.
And those are great because they're full of electrolytes and antioxidants
Right.
to help us stay hydrated and also protect our skin from the sun.
It's like nature knows what we need.
I know. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
It's like each season provides exactly what our bodies need at that specific time.
It's so cool.
So cool.
I'm really starting to understand the philosophy behind this whole seasonal drinking thing.
Yeah, me too.
It's not just about the ingredients themselves, though, right?
Yeah, okay.
It's also about how we prepare them.
Hmm.
Like, think about a refreshing watermelon mint cooler
Oh, yeah.
on a hot summer day
Delicious.
versus, like, a warm spiced cider in the fall.
Right?
You know, the preparation methods and the temperatures of the drinks themselves
Yeah.
really contribute to how our bodies experience them.
That's such a good point. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, it's not just about the taste. It's about the whole sensory experience.
Owly.
So as summer transitions into autumn,
Okay.
our bodies start to prepare for the colder months ahead.
Right.
And this is a time for more grounding, nourishing ingredients.
Okay.
Think apples, pears, pumpkins.
Ooh, I love those fall flavors.
Me too.
They're so cozy.
And they're not just delicious.
Right?
They're actually rich in fiber and vitamins
Okay.
to support our digestion and immunity.
Oh, wow. So it's like prepping for the winter.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's like nature's way of getting us ready.
Okay, so then in the winter.
Yeah, in the winter, our bodies need even more support
Right.
to stay warm and healthy.
Of course.
And that's where spices like cinnamon, ginger, and turmeric become really important
Okay.
because they offer warming and anti-inflammatory properties.
Oh, wow. I love those spices. They're so delicious.
Yeah, they're so good. And they're so good for you.
Right.
It's amazing how those flavors that we associate with comfort and warmth
Yeah.
actually have these really powerful health benefits.
I know. I'm looking at my spice rack completely differently now.
Me too. Me too.
Okay, so we've gone through all the seasons.
Yeah.
We've talked about the flavors, the benefits.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating.
I think beyond those physical benefits,
Right.
there's also something really beautiful about how seasonal drinking connects us to the natural world.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it encourages us to pay attention to the cycles of nature
Right.
and to appreciate the abundance that each season offers.
It's a more mindful way to live, isn't
I
it?
think so, yeah.
Like savoring the flavors of each season
Yeah,
and honoring that connection between our bodies and the earth.
I love that.
Me too.
Okay, so this brings us to something that both of your sources emphasize,
Okay.
which is the idea of sourcing local ingredients.
Right. They talk a lot about the benefits of that,
They do.
like freshness and peak nutrition
Yeah.
and supporting the local economy
Mm-hmm.
and reducing our environmental impact.
It's really a win-win all around.
No,
Right.
you're like, why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Exactly.
So they talk about things like farmers markets.
Yes, farmers markets are amazing.
Right. And a lot of communities also have these community-supported agriculture programs.
Oh, yeah, the CSAs.
Yeah, where you can get fresh produce delivered right to your door.
Love those.
And then there's also pick your own farms,
Oh, yeah.
which is such a fun activity.
I love it. It's like an outing.
Yeah. And you get to connect with the food that you're eating.
And support local farmers directly.
Exactly.
That's all that.
So it seems like there's really no excuse not to try to source local ingredients.
Yeah, I think that's a great takeaway.
And I think that kind of leads into the question of like, okay, this all sounds great,
Yeah.
but how do we actually put this into practice?
Like, where do we even begin?
Yeah, where do we begin?
I think it starts with awareness, right?
Okay.
Like paying attention to what's in season in your area.
Right.
And then taking those little steps to, go to the farmers markets, join a CSA,
Yeah.
explore the produce section of your local grocery store,
Okay.
and then get creative.
I love that.
Don't be afraid to experiment with different flavors and combinations.
That's where the fun begins.
That's where the fun begins.
I'm already feeling inspired to try out some new recipes and create my own little seasonal elixir.
Me too. Me too.
Awesome.
And remember, there are endless possibilities.
Right.
You can brew your own herbal teas.
Yeah.
Blend up smoothies, create refreshing coolers,
Mm.
or even experiment with like warm, comforting elixirs in the winter.
I love it.
Yeah. And you know what else I thought was really cool?
What?
Your sources also touched on the importance of presentation.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's not just what's in the glass, it's how it's served.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh.
Think about, garnishes,
Oh, yeah.
themed glassware. You could even create little interactive drink stations.
That's so fun.
I know, right? It's about adding that touch of artistry and intention to your
Oh.
drinks.
It really makes the whole experience feel more special.
Yeah, it's like elevating those everyday moments and turning them into little celebrations.
I love that. It's
Yeah.
like we're celebrating the seasons,
Yeah.
celebrating well-being.
Exactly.
I love that perspective.
So as we kind of continue this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and talk about the health benefits beyond just relaxation.
Ooh.
Because we've touched on some of them,
Right.
but I think there's a lot more to explore there.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm ready to hear more. Okay, so we've been talking about all these amazing relaxation benefits and how to align our drinks with the seasons.
All right, right.
But I'm also curious about those immune boosting properties that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, that's a good point, especially as the seasons change.
Right.
Especially heading into those colder months.
Yeah,
Our immune systems could always use a little extra support.
totally. And I'm always looking for natural ways to boost my immunity.
Me too, me too.
So what kind of ingredients should we be looking for?
Well, luckily, nature provides us with an abundance of options.
Right. That's good to hear.
We've already talked about a couple of superstars, ginger and turmeric.
Oh, right.
Both of those are known for their really potent anti-inflammatory properties.
Okay.
And reducing inflammation in the body is one of the key ways to help our immune system function at its best.
That makes sense.
And then, citrus fruits are also amazing for immunity.
Yeah, because of the vitamin C.
Exactly, vitamin C. It's a powerful antioxidant
Right.
that helps to protect our cells from damage.
Okay.
And it also supports the production of white blood cells.
Which are the ones that fight off infections.
Exactly, yeah. So even something as simple as a glass of lemon water
Right.
or a citrus-infused herbal tea
Yeah.
isn't just refreshing, it's actually supporting your immune system.
Wow. I never thought of it that way. It's like those little everyday choices can really make a difference.
They really can,
Are there any other herbs that I should be on the lookout for when it comes to immunity?
definitely. Elderberry's a good one.
Okay, elderberry.
Yeah, it's been used for centuries in traditional medicine to treat colds and flu.
Hmm.
And now modern research is actually starting to catch up and
Interesting.
showing that it really can reduce the severity and duration of symptoms.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I've heard of elderberry syrup, but I don't think I've ever used it in drinks.
You can.
Okay, cool.
So elderberry has a unique flavor. It's kind of tart and sweet.
Okay.
You can find elderberry tea,
Hmm.
or you can even just add a spoonful of elderberry syrup to your favorite
Oh,
beverage
that's easy.
for an extra little immune boost.
I'm definitely going to try that.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
What about echinacea? I know that's often used in herbal remedies.
Oh, yes, echinacea is another great one.
Okay,
And it's also really popular for colds and flu.
got it.
It seems to work in a similar way to elderberry, helping to reduce the severity and duration of symptoms.
So it's like we've got ginger, turmeric, citrus fruits, elderberry, echinacea.
Yeah,
It sounds like we have a whole army of natural allies on our side.
we do. And these are just a few examples, right?
Right.
The world of herbal medicine is huge,
Yeah.
and it's constantly evolving.
It's amazing to think about, how modern science is really starting to back up what traditional practices have known for so long.
It is, yeah. It's really cool to see.
I have to say, this whole deep dive has been such an eye-opener.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I feel like I've learned so much, not just about herbal elixirs themselves,
Right.
but about the importance of listening to our bodies and really aligning our choices with the seasons.
I think that's a really powerful takeaway.
It is,
And
yeah.
remember, it's not about following strict rules or recipes, right?
Right, yeah. I was just thinking that.
It's about experimenting and having fun and discovering what works best for you.
Exactly, yeah. It's about tuning in to what our bodies need at different times of year
Yeah,
and trying out new flavors and creating our own little personalized rituals.
I love that.
Me too.
Well, it sounds like we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
This has been a really fun deep dive.
It has. It has.
I always love talking about this stuff,
Me too.
and I hope everyone listening feels inspired to start brewing up their own creations.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
It's been my pleasure. Happy brewing, everyone!